Alright, so we're still here for a quiz or test and looking at the options. You can add in a due date just like, always. That really hasn't changed. If you don't want it to be associated with Chapter 11, the chapter association works nicely if you want students to be able to search by chapter for what they should be doing at that point in time. Do you want to allow partial credit? So like if there's two parts to the question, they get half of it right, do they get half the points? That kind of thing. Do you want to require a password for this assignment? If you do, then you type this in and you put it there, right? Some people do that so that way proctors have access to the passwords, but not the students, that kind of thing. Do you want any prerequisites, like they have to have done well enough on the Chapter 11 homework in order to be allowed to take this test? That kind of thing. So you can add prerequisites. You can say, oh, you got to do this homework at an 80% level, that kind of thing. Okay. All right, then do you want to limit the number of times they can take it? I mentioned it before, but let's say tests and quizzes, generally you limit to 1 or 2, that kind of thing. Do you want to have it so that if they have an incomplete, which means like if their browser shut down or if something wonky happened, do you want to make it so that either they can access and continue on their own, or do they need your permission to continue access, right? So you can offer them restricted access. Student cannot resume an incomplete attempt until the instructor enables it, or blocked. Students cannot access other assignments or questions while taking a quiz. If the student does not submit the quiz, access to all other questions and assignments is blocked until the instructor enables access to or deletes the incomplete quiz. See? So what kind of access do you want them to have? In general, if their internet goes down or anything, then you're going to be bombarded with, not bombarded, but you're going to get requests to get into things. If something goes wonky with their internet, then you're going to have to let them back in if you choose either one of these two. So just something to keep in mind. Quiz allowed. Let's say I allow 90 minutes for this quiz. I want to show how much time is left. I want every question to be scrambled. That way, students sitting next to each other. I mean, not only do the question numbers change, but the order of the questions change. I mean, remember that all these questions in MyMathLab, one of the advantages to it is that the numbers are randomly generated. So two students sitting next to each other actually don't get the same answers. So they can only talk about the idea behind it, that kind of thing. Then when a student clicks submit, you have an option. Do you want to hide the score and question results? Do you want to show them just their score? Or do you want to show them their question results? When they're reviewing the quiz, they can later review the quiz. When do you want that allowed? Do you want it any time after they submitted? Or do you want to wait, only allow them to do it right away? Or do you want to have it after the due date? That way they can't share their information with other students. Or do you want it so that they can never review it? They can never see what they did wrong because you don't want them to share information. All that's up to you. Do you want the results to update the study plan? That way, hey, they did really well in this chapter, so they don't need to do more practice problems in that chapter. Do you want to allow students to print the test with the correct answers and their answers while reviewing? That way they can study from it. Or not, because you don't want them to be able to have that kind of access. That's up to you. Do you want to allow other instructors to import? Again, that's up to you. So those are all the settings, and I can save and assign, or I can just save. If I click save, I'll show it to you. Sorry, that was my cord. I apologize for that noise. So my microphone code was hanging over my microphone. Aha. Okay, so if I scroll to the bottom, there it is. Oopsie. See? Your quiz currently has a default weight of 0 points. If you want to do that, change that, you go to change weights. We'll work on that later. All right, you can see it's not assigned. And there's the symbol for quizzes, by the way. It's a little square with a Q in it, right? And students can't see this assignment because it's not given a check mark. If you want to assign it, then click here and click assign. Click go. Scroll into the bottom. There, at the bottom you can see it. Alrighty then, we've gone through how to make a quiz, how to set up those settings, and we'll see more in the Homework Test Manager next time. See you then. Bye.